Hey, Michelle here from Sensate Soul and the Soul Translator, and I work with empaths, HSPs, and what I call as empreneurs, who we all are wanting to and striving to become more empowered in our life and in our work as HSPs. So in today's video, I wanted to speak briefly on a video, well, on a topic, but this was spurred by a video that I did a couple years ago. Hold on, let me take those off. On empaths, why empaths and narcissists get into the dance, the tango together. And if you haven't watched that video, do check it out. I couldn't believe it the other day. I checked it out. I don't usually tend to rewatch my own videos and things I put out there after they're edited, but I went and checked it out and I was like, holy moly, are you kidding me? It's got like, over 5,000 views, and it's probably the most popular one on my channel. And it was perfect timing because I realized I had been thinking that I wanted to do some more videos on this empath narcissist thing that happens, and also because there's a lot of stuff out there that says empaths can become narcissists. So I want to address this and give you a couple ideas, pointers, things to think about, and hopefully empower you to make good choices to protect yourself and to connect to what matters to you. And being in a relationship with narcissists can, in any way, whether it's, love relationship, work, being raised, can be an incredible training in becoming more empowered as in your self-awareness, in who you are. So let me speak about narcissism here. There's this thing out there that says narcissists and empaths can become narcissists, and that narcissists are capable of becoming empaths or being empaths. And this simply is not true. And there are those out there who say that everybody is empathic, and to be saying that people aren't empathic is a way to dehumanize them. Is kind of taking it to an extreme, in my opinion, because the thing is that the empath brain, the HSP brain and nervous system, and the brain of a narcissist or somebody on that psychopathic or even sociopathic spectrum, they're different brains. So when you look at studies about what lights up in an empath, somebody who has a capacity for deep empathy, what lights up in their brain versus what lights up in somebody who is on the narcissistic spectrum, they're completely different. There is I won't go into too much of the science of it here, but just take my word for it. When we say, please take my word for it, it's your choice whether you want to or not, but when we say that a narcissist can have deep empathy or can be an empath, we're overlaying the expectation and the actual physiology of an empath's or somebody who has deep empathy or the capacity for. We're overlaying that idea over on a narcissist, and they're physiologically just very, 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 very different. So the definition of somebody who's a narcissist is a lack of empathy. And it's not just the lack of empathy, it is an inability to fire on those levels. Yes, in quantum physics, we can go into that neuroplasticity and people can learn and all of those things. But when we get into personality disorders and we get into, certain dispositions and wirings, there are some things that are more hardwired, and people who are narcissists or true personality disorder, sociopath, psychopath, they have a hard wiring in their brain, whether it was inborn, whether it was from their upbringing, whether it was from a situation or things that happened, traumatic things also that happened, that made their brain form in that way. That's always the question, nature or nurture, right? But it's a really big mistake, in my opinion, to put stuff out into social media, into the world, into groups, which I'm in a lot of empath groups, and I see this all the time, where we say that narcissists can become empaths. And it's also really harmful to those who truly are empaths and HSPs, because it makes, first of all, it takes away our trust of ourselves and our intuitions and our feelings. And it also kind of diminishes and demeans our who we are. To say that somebody who has a complete lack of empathy can then develop it is saying it just kind of, and you know what I'm saying, it just kind of puts down what we naturally are. The second point here is, besides for us having different wiring altogether and unique wiring, is that empaths are often with narcissists. This is from my experience. This is clinically, personally, professionally. Are often with narcissists because we're drawn to them because they have something that we're learning to have, which is boundaries. Very strong, razor sharp kind of discernment. They don't play around in the fuzzy areas. There's not a gray area when it comes to their emotions. They're very good at being direct, at really asking for what they want, for being just much more assertive. And they don't usually make many excuses for themselves or justify themselves and do all of those things that a lot of us sensitives can do, because we're often, reading what the energy and emotions and what's going on in the other person in relation to ourselves and to everything that's going on. So we're more sensitive to that resonance, to that connection. So this is different, of course, for covert narcissists, and they're much more kind of like the word. They are underhanded, they are covert, they're harder to pin down, harder to define. But after a while, usually when you're with a covert narcissist, many of these other true narcissistic traits will come out. And it can be incredibly confusing for many of us, because we get the impression that somebody is one way, and then it's a whole other bag of tricks that happens. So what is the narcissist then looking for in the empath? We have something that they are incapable of having, which is emotionality, which is that resonance, which is empathy, compassion, gray area, full spectrum feeling. We have what they are incapable of having, and they have what we are wanting to develop more. So there is this, kind of filling in the other person's void that can be a lot of the reason why we end up being drawn to each other. It is kind of like a, opposites attract. So point number 3 here is that it's often the tough learning grounds that many empaths and sensitives have when you're involved with a narcissist in any form is that they really, by being who they are and our interactions and situations with them, they can often be the catalyst for us to really learn that what we want matters, to go for what we want, and that we can do that. We deserve to do that. And it is kind of one of those things of like, it's a strong way to say it, but it is like the diamond. It's all that grist and all that rubbing and friction that can then turn you into that diamond of going forth for what you want. So maybe you have experienced this, where you have been involved with somebody who's on that narcissistic spectrum, or truly full-blown, on the disorder level, and it has been something that, because of your situation with them, it has really pushed you to take some risks, to have boundaries, to believe that you can be, do, and have the things that are important to you, that, you know, it is really like that what has made you stronger. Now, I know there's also the other potentials that can happen where it can be very traumatic. It can really, like, I have experienced this. It took me a couple years to bounce back from a situation that I was in. So I know that there's also the other side of, you know, sometimes those things of what, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or what, you know, doesn't, you know, break you makes you more strong. And sometimes there's just a lot of trauma and a lot of, it's hard to bounce back from the level of deceit and emotional abuse and all the different things that can come from being in a relationship with narcissists. So please know that I am absolutely, I'm not trying to put on rose glasses here at all. What I am really wanting to offer you, and from my own personal experience, is to use these situations and the experiences to really look at them and to do what you can in your own personal self-care and in your self-awareness growth, to really be able to turn, you know, the lemonade out of the lemons of this experience, to really, you know, I guess it's a really weird way to say it, but it's like, when we are involved with narcissists, they can be really intense, really powerful teachers of what we want, of having boundaries, of really truly being who we are in our full emotional, sensitive glory, and not, you know, quieting down, dumbing down who we are in order to get approval or acceptance or love or anything from somebody else. And that really is about, how do you show up for yourself in your life and in your world, and embracing and enhancing your sensitivity, your sensitive nature, because that's your gift. That is the way that you have come into the world, with an extra wiring, an extra ability to be able to be in relationship with the seen and the unseen, the subtle and all your senses, your emotions, and your connection to other people's emotions, your creativity, your, I know I'm doing a total pep talk here, but it really is like, embrace your strengths. There's a saying, I'll do another video on this, but I love this, and I've been really, you know, ruminating on it, chewing on it internally, and it is, what you choose, you become. So that's just a super powerful little boom I'm gonna leave right there for you to play around with. Chew on that for a little bit as well. All right, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, please do give a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a comment. Love to know what you feel and think about this topic, and as well, please do come on over to Sensate Soul, and you can get a lot of different things over there to help you as an HSP, an empath, and an empreneur. So much love. See you in the next video. Bye.